Welcome back. After the first two World Series games in Toronto since 1993, the Blue Jays are in Southern California tonight, tied with the Dodgers at a game apiece.
We're trying to approach this as, seven, if it gets to that point, 7 one-game series. So at this point, it's going to be all hands on deck.
The Blue Jays will look to bounce back in Game 3 of the World Series tonight against the LA Dodgers. Toronto was limited to just one run on Saturday. The next 3 games will be in LA, so the Jays will need to win at least one game there to bring the series back to Toronto. The Fort St. John Huskies looking to make it 7 wins in a row. On Saturday, the Huskies heading to Grand Prairie to take on the Wheat Kings. Fort St. John winning a high-scoring affair 7-4. The next day, the Huskies returning home to host the Dawson Creek Kodiaks. Fort St. John skating away with a 5-2 victory. The win moves the division leading Huskies 5 points clear of the second-place North Peace Navigators. On Friday, Fort St. John will take on the Flyers in Fairview. As for the Dawson Creek Kodiaks, they are heading in a different direction. Dawson Creek was in Fairview on Saturday. The Kodiaks were leading 3-2 late in the third period. The Flyers would score with 18 seconds left in regulation to force overtime. Less than a minute in, Fairview would score to take this one 4-3. On Wednesday, Dawson Creek is at home where they will face the North Peace Navigators. And checking in on the North Peace Hockey League, the Dawson Creek Canucks looking to stay perfect in the start of the year. The Canucks facing the Valley View Jets at Memorial Arena. Dawson Creek's win moves them to 2-0 for the season. The Canucks are back in action this Saturday. They will be in Manning to face the Comets. And the Fort St. John Flyers looking for their first win. The Flyers at home on Saturday playing host to Manning. The Comets with 3 in the second period on their way to a 5-3 victory. Fort St. John drops to 0-2 on the year. On Saturday, the Flyers welcome the Fox Creek Knights to the North Peace Arena. And finally, an unexpected discovery at a liquidation store in Victoria is leading to a meaningful reunion in Haida Gwaii. Adam explains on tonight's Sawaski Sign-Off.
Leftovers.
Although the range of products at his local liquidation store couldn't be more different,
So we got some office chairs.
from a bunch of furniture to just one pair of hip waders with size 14 boots,
So I gotta find the exact right customer for that.
Rory Perrin says the prices are all printed the same.
That's my high-tech pricing system.
Post-it notes?
Post-it notes.
But after a recent hotel liquidation,
This is usually what we get.
rather than a typical print, Rory discovered a rare original.
I'm not an artist type. Even a guy like me could recognize the beauty of it.
So, instead of putting a post-it on it, Rory started looking on the other side of it and found a couple old newspaper articles profiling a Haida artist named Kinawe Roberta Olson.
So we did a little research on the internet.
And Rory discovered a woman with the same name running a restaurant in faraway Haida Gwaii called Kinawe's Kitchen and gave her a call.
I was surprised.
Roberta said she hadn't seen the canvas in almost 45 years.
I appreciate what he did, just to remind me of that part of my life a long time ago.
So, the now 83-year-old offered to buy her painting.
Maybe we've got something of value here, financial value, but I didn't realize that the value was going to be something different in this case.
Rory never expected that their conversation would be so meaningful, that Roberta's voice sharing the story of her Haida heritage would be so strong that he would feel inspired to give her the painting for free.
It's just a moving feeling to be able to connect two things like that were separated a long time ago.
Roberta's granddaughter, Alicia Henderson, was certainly surprised when she picked up the painting from Rory.
That kind of generosity doesn't come along every day.
And now that it's back in the family, Alicia hopes the news story associated with Roberta's painting will inspire future generations to be generous too.
Continue giving and being kind to others.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
Michael, that's all for sports.
Good stuff. And before we go, you're back from a week vacation,
Yes.
seeing family and friends in Alberta, and you saw your Montreal Canadiens.
I did. I'm pretty happy with the win. There are always low-scoring games when they play in Calgary. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm happy. It was an amazing game.
What you did miss, was my, I paid off my bet to you that I lost and wore your Blue Jays jersey, but you weren't there to see it. So
I've seen the clip. It makes me very happy. I'm sure it hurt your soul a little bit to do it, but
Yeah, you know, it's 7 days since Game 7, and it still hurts. Whatever. That is our newscast for tonight. Thanks so much for watching. We'll both see you back here at our regular time at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Good night.
bye-bye.